Alright, I don't know if that's a good spot or not. I know. Oh, Mr. F, stay out of the room long enough for me to do a good spot. Here's the deal. I feel like I'm depressed again. Oh yeah, I definitely am. I'm exhausted. Sometimes I don't know the difference. Sometimes there isn't a difference. I knew you were gonna come in. I told him you would.
Why?
I knew it. You know what I'm saying? Which comes first? Probably the sleep deprivation. On some levels, life is better here than it was. For sure, it's better. I'm busy, you know, busier than I want to be. But I will say, I've been really internally beating myself up for a while, and I know a lot of people go through this and do this, and so I'm offering this up as validation that it's normal. Here's the deal, a lot of things are eating at me. One thing is this, it's really bothering me today. So you know I do all this stuff out there in this public format. Some people don't, I think, know this, but like the videos are made for my blog. It's just a different way that I blog. I have to use YouTube to upload them, but then it turns out obviously people have access to those videos on YouTube. But who's really trolling for my videos? I don't know. In the beginning, sometimes people would subscribe to my station and I'd go to them and it would be like weird porn guys or something. And I think they thought that Mrs. Furious must have meant something other than what it means, obviously. And then now a whole bunch of Mormons are watching my videos. And I feel very conflicted about that because it's not the way that I'm making them, you know, like I don't know how to come to terms with that feeling. I don't know. And that, in one way, doesn't necessarily bother me. But I think what I'm confused about is that today somebody subscribed to my YouTube channel that I definitely would not ever want to be associated with. I don't know, you know. I'm just very confused about what is going on, and I feel like all of a sudden I've become some kind of weird conservative poster child. I couldn't be further from that in reality, and so I don't get it. I don't want to be friends with someone who is homophobic. I don't, people. I don't. That's not what my whole thing is about. I'm just so disturbed, I guess is the best word, that I feel like I'm out of control of the viewership of my videos, I guess, so I'm feeling really uncomfortable. It's not going to stop me, though. And, you know what I'm saying. I mean, obviously there are people with good intentions, and there are people who I think don't have good intentions, and, this has happened on the blog too, so it's just part of making yourself public, and it's the definite downside. The upside is, you know, tons of great friendships and support and validation for my normal life. The downside is, sometimes I get a little freaked out, but you know, I'm moving forward. But it's not helping that I already am feeling kind of depressed to have this, like, anxiety that, you know, I'm not sure what people's motivation is slightly distressing and disturbing. But at the same time, I want to still be able to do this, you know, for my blog, so I'm going forward. And I think for people who are just watching this on YouTube, I don't know. I mean, these really aren't supposed to be taken out of context. They're really supportive of the blog. But if you do watch them, just, I mean, that's whatever. I can't, that's great. It's fine. But I'm not looking to make any kind of statement or join any club of people who make statements. Especially when your statements are really completely the opposite of my viewpoint. And I think that that's clear. So that's why I'm confused and, I don't know, disturbed. Alright. And some people know that I had removed the ability to comment on my videos for a while because I was getting always these really weird comments that weren't relevant and immature or bizarre. And I might have to go back to that because I just need to feel, I don't know, protected. So we'll see. It's not in action to people who have been nice, and it's not, I'm not doing it for that reason. It's just, you have to assume, everyone out there, that if you're talking to me or commenting to me or emailing me or posting to me, that other people are too. You might not realize how much feedback I sometimes get. So, sometimes it's overwhelming. And sometimes it's unwanted, and sometimes, Alright, what time am I at now? Okay, what I was really talking about was my depression. Basically, I'm feeling like a failure on a lot of levels, and I think this is kind of feeding into it, where I feel like I was trying to communicate a certain point, and I failed to do so. If, you think that I'm feeling like I failed to make my message clear, and that's not helping me today. I'm also just feeling in general like I'm just not getting anything done. I'm not living the life I want to live. I'm feeling, it's probably seasonal affective disorder. Hopefully. I don't know. I think I'm just caught in a place where I feel like I'm really unhappy with my day-to-day progress, and I try every day. I do. I try to wake up and feel like I'm gonna do better every day, and I feel like there's something I don't necessarily haven't necessarily kept the food diary going this week, or I didn't meet my exercise goals, or I'm just letting myself down all the time, and I know that so many people can relate to that, and it's so hard to snap out of it, especially when you then start to become depressed or you're exhausted. I'm not really sure exactly what is going on for me. Either one is legitimate. To then try even harder to pull yourself out. So I'm thinking of maybe just trying to focus on my successes on my blog. I'm not sure. Maybe make a list of the things I did accomplish. Maybe that'll spur me to accomplish more. Sometimes things like that work for me. But I'm not feeling like I'm a good enough mother. I'm not feeling like I decided to email thank you notes instead of write them. I'm feeling guilty about that, even though I read this quote, and I think I might have already talked about this, but if it's perfection or nothing, you'll get nothing. And I'm really trying to live that, people, and so I decided to email thank you notes instead. And so that I took pictures of kid opening her presents and emailed the pictures, that correlated with the gift, so you could see her expression and see that she liked it, and then she dictated to me what she wanted to say, and I typed it and emailed it. It allowed me to write all the thank you notes and get them out the same day. And if I hadn't done that, I might never have. So, yet I still feel guilty. That's one thing. Oh goodness, I gotta go. Check.